Odin is the supreme god in Norse mythology. Most gods and mortals descend from him, and so he is known as the father of all. High on his golden throne in Asgard, the god could see everything that happened in all the realms of Norse mythology, making him an omnipresent deity. The god appeared at the very beginning of time, along with his brothers Vili and Ve. These became responsible for shaping the world we know today. This world would have been carved from the remains of Ymir, who was murdered by Odin and his family at the dawn of time. Odin is also said to have participated in mankind's inception, fathering the first couple of human beings, known as Ask and Embla. The god is renowned for having only one eye. Odin sacrificed the other to drink at Mimir's well for more wisdom. After drinking at this well, Odin became so wise that he became known as the god of wisdom. Odin was escorted by a pair of ravens, Hugin and Munin, usually perched on his shoulders. These ravens traveled to the world and brought the god the latest news and gossip from around the globe. The god's weapon was the Gungnir spear. Any oath made under this spear could never be broken. Odin's consort was the goddess Frigga. She was the only deity of Asgard allowed to sit on the throne while the supreme god was absent. She was the goddess of fertility and love. The god had many sons. The most famous are the thunder god Thor, Balder, Heimdall, and many others. Valhalla was the renowned hall of Odin, where the spirits of brave warriors killed on the battlefield were welcomed. There, they would feast and fight among themselves, awaiting the coming of Ragnarok. Odin was also a warrior god. Mounted on his glorious eight-legged horse, he would fly over the battlefields and choose the winning side. The famous berserker warriors were religious fanatics of the Odin cult. They did not fear death on the battlefield, for passing away would anticipate their meeting with Odin in Valhalla's hall. When they perished on the battlefield, the Valkyries selected these warriors to cross the gates to Valhalla. Odin used to descend into the world of men, known as Midgard. He disguised himself as a wanderer, for he was extremely interested in the affairs of mortals. Aware that Odin could be among them, the Norse respected the duties of hospitality, fearing to offend the father of all. Odin also invented the runes, an essential element in Norse magic. But to achieve this feat, Odin had to make another sacrifice. Odin endured being wounded by a spear and hung by a rope from the Yggdrasil tree for 9 days. Odin acquired the ability to see the future. With this gift, he managed to predict that Loki's sons would be key figures during Ragnarok. Therefore, he threw the serpent Jormungandr into the ocean and took the wolf Fenrir to Asgard, where the animal was kept under the god's watch. The wolf came to hate Odin. After being chained by the gods, the animal's rage grew even more. Odin knew that a duel with Fenrir was inevitable in Ragnarok. During the great battle, the god, mounted on horseback, charged forward against the beast and met his end in the giant wolf's gaping throat. Odin was worshipped in several temples throughout Scandinavia and part of Germania. His most famous shrine was in Uppsala, and Wednesday was dedicated to the god.